Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host Jesse DeRosa, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest Xbox news for the week of November 27th, 2025, including Xbox held a partner preview event where we got some new game announcements and looks at games we haven't seen in a while. A new parts shortage suggests that Xbox could need to raise their console prices yet again. Black Ops 7 does seem to be stumbling, though to what extent is hard to know for sure. All that and more coming up. On this day in Xbox history, in the year 2003, 22 years ago, Batman Rise of Sinsu was released for the Xbox, the original Xbox. The box art, that's what I remember. The game, what? Never heard of it. Don't remember it. Don't care about it. This is Batman the Animated Series, which was like the whole identity of Batman for my generation growing up. However, I didn't watch too much of Batman the Animated Series or Justice League or really any of that stuff. Superman. I've actually watched more of that now as an adult than I did when it was contemporary during my childhood. Really, the only DC shit of any consequence I watched was Static Shock, which was my favorite. It was like the only non-Marvel thing that I loved. But that, whatever. Doesn't really count in all this, I guess. Although it should. God, DC needs to do more with that. But Batman Rise of Sinsu, it's not that hard. Why am I struggling so much? It's just a beat 'em up brawler game. These games were such a fucking dime a dozen. The Incredibles, Shrek 2, I mean, like any licensed video game where you play as a character aimed at 10-year-old boys was a fucking 2 to 4 player co-op brawler game back in these days. But that doesn't mean it wasn't fun. I don't know. Maybe it was fun. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. This is a direct sequel to a different PS2 Xbox era Batman game that I never played, but I just remember this box art vividly because I've seen it many times at Blockbusters and Targets and things like that, but never purchased it or played it myself. Shout out to Batman Rise of Sinsu. 22 years old. Wow. Old enough to drink and go, wow, I've been drinking for a year because I'm 22. That's how old you are, Batman. For Xbox. Guys, welcome to the Xbox On podcast. Gotta be honest, let's preface some things, okay? Feeling good this week, but a little rushed. Got family coming to town. I'm recording a day early. I'm recording on Tuesday. I got family coming to town tomorrow on Wednesday. Got the rest of the week off work. I got a lot of things going on. Lots and lots of cooking to do. So I said, you know what? It's going to be a slow week of Xbox news anyway. Let me record the show a day early. Buy myself some time to focus more on the Thanksgiving aspect of things. I got a lot of things going on right now. And on top of that, it is a slow week in Xbox news. So we're going to have it probably just be realistically a little shorter than usual. Not because I want it to be, just because it's what the week calls for. I'm sorry. To all of you who don't live in the United States, I'm sorry. It's Thanksgiving week for us in the United States. This is a very important holiday for us because it's the one that we're supposed to forget about in between Halloween and Christmas because those two are very commercial and Thanksgiving is only kind of commercial. So unless you're a grocery store, you really don't care about Thanksgiving. But listen, it matters. Thanksgiving is such a weird holiday because I feel like everyone loves Thanksgiving, but nobody cares about Thanksgiving. At the same time, it's like, yeah, we all get the day off work and school. We all get to see some family. We all get to eat a great meal. It's all about food. It's good weather. It's fall time. It's a great vibe and aesthetic Thanksgiving. It's a great heartwarming. Honestly, Thanksgiving is probably the only holiday we have, at least in the United States, where there's a good message behind it. I mean, every other holiday has quite literally been entirely corrupted and or is about something not good or about something that's just kind of like, meh, Thanksgiving might literally be the only holiday we have that's like objectively for everyone, not like a holiday like Easter, which like excludes the majority of people because you have to be of a certain religion for it to apply to you. It's just a good holiday for all Americans. I like that. I like it. It's wholesome. Today for us selfish motherfuckers to look back and go, I'm grateful. Although how many of us really do that? I feel like, what am I saying? God, I'm such a fucking idiot. Of course they corrupted Thanksgiving. Black Friday. What the fuck am I thinking? Never mind, guys. Don't worry. We don't have a wholesome holiday. All right, guys. Welcome to the Xbox On podcast. We said the Batman's out. Yep. No games to talk about. we're just going to basically hop into the news because there's not too much to go off of this week. And then we'll talk extensively about what I've been playing and all those things. But I want to start off specifically with the Xbox partner preview that took place last week, because this literally took place like hours after the podcast went live. I knew we were going to miss it, but listen, it was a little bit of A, a little bit of B, with A being... I'm a lazy motherfucker. I'm not going to hold the show back another day so we can accommodate this partner preview. And B, I just really didn't think there was going to be anything worth a damn at the showcase, and I am so glad I felt that way and went off that feeling, because I was so fucking right. This partner preview was absolutely eye-wateringly boring. I just want to thank God that I didn't watch this preview live while it was happening, that I didn't carve time out of my day to sit there and watch it, because this preview was fucking horrible. Just like, spoiler alert, it sucked. So I definitely just read articles and watched trailers after the fact, and I'm so glad I did it, because I got to scrub through it. Listen, I don't want to be a negative Nancy. The point of this, and I'm trying to be more like aware of it, I don't want to be a negative person just for the sake of being negative, just for the sake of it being the easy way to talk about things. But I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I'm tired. Not today, not because of work, not because of anything any of you guys did. I'm just tired. I hope you guys can relate. When I was young, gaming was something fun where you could kind of keep up with like about 90% of everything that mattered that was going on, because it was like a small enough of an industry, you know, a closed off enough thing that it was like, if you were really nerdy, you kind of had a little bit of a reading on just about everything that mattered that was going on in the industry. But these days, it's impossible. It's impossible to know it all. It's impossible to follow up with it all. But more important than keeping up with all the news, all the games, all the actions, all the happenings, the harder part is finding it within to give a fuck about all the things that are happening. We're about to talk about a collection of a dozen games or so. These games are all labors of love from teams that are mostly of small to mid-size. So these are indie games to smaller team games. And I just have an immense... Listen, as a man who's a middle manager for a corporation, I have an immense amount of respect for people who can put their lives on the line and take a risk and a chance on themselves and throw themselves out there to try and make their artistic passions a career. I want to show massive respect to all the games we're about to talk about from that perspective. That being said, as a consumer and a player of games, as a person who is constantly advertised to and marketed to, and companies and creators and corporations and publishers are constantly waving their hands in front of my face, snapping their fingers, clapping, trying to get my attention like a stupid fucking baby when you wave the wand toy in front of its head and you go, "Look here, dumb baby." I just gotta say, I'm fucking tired. I'm overstimulated. I don't have enough attention, and I'm tired. So it's not that any of the games we're about to talk about are dumb games or bad games or aren't worth your time. It's just, I gotta be genuine with you. Unless a game looks truly like outstandingly unique and cool, I don't care. And unless it's something like that's like instantly recognizably cool, like, oh my god, Halo 7, they're finally gonna finish the story from Halo 5. I'm just, no disrespect, but I don't care. So this is a partner preview. Obviously, it's not first-party content. And I don't mean to set the tone like so low, like, oh man, everything sucks. It's not that. I'm sure there are plenty of great games we're about to talk about that I don't see the value in, and I'm not giving a fair shake, but these games are better than the way we're about to talk about them. But I'm just going to be honest. We're going to go through them one by one. I'm going to kind of skip through a lot of them, skip past a lot of them mostly, just because there's just not a whole lot to say. Okay, no more preamble. Let's just get into it, guys. So this is the Windows Central write-up. Thank you, Windows Central, for compiling one of these articles, because God knows I would kill myself if I had to write one of these. Where they go, here are all the announcements from the partner preview today. Ugh. And the first thing they have listed here, I don't know if this is the first game they showed, I don't fucking care, but the first game they have in the article is Armistice, which is a game that is scheduled or slated for next year. It's coming to Xbox consoles and Xbox on PC. And it's, all the things, the xCloud, the fucking whatever, Game Pass. Is it coming to Game Pass? Actually, yeah, this is a Game Pass game, so that's cool. This game looks fine. It is a roguelike third-person shooter. It kind of aesthetically reminds me of Remnant and and not Dark Souls. I forget the name of the game. Darksiders. While also like gameplay wise looking kind of like, what's that PlayStation 5 game? Damn, I forget the name of it. It's escaping me, but it looks like a fun game in a third person perspective where you have different abilities and weapons, but lots of guns, and you get to fight dark mythical creatures in a medieval dark fantasy world, and it looks cool. It looks fun. If this is something we saw 10, 15 years ago, I'd say, wow, I've never seen anything like this. If you showed it to me today, I'd be like, wow, I've seen a million games that look like this, yet somehow don't. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm sure the game is a lot of fun. It looks good. I have nothing to say about it, though. So that was shown, just a vague 2026 release date. Looks cool. Not for me. Next up, we got the Omen of Cthulhu, which is a survival horror, co-op survival horror game. It looks like it's pirate times, and you're like on like islands discovering the new world, and there's like undead creatures through these like ancient ruins and stuff. Actually, a really badass synopsis to a game. Really cool looking. It's penned to come out this upcoming summer in 2026. It'll be on Xbox consoles, PC, and of course, all the other things, PlayStation, Steam, whatnot. It actually looks pretty fucking cool. So it's a co-op survival horror game through the perilous jungles in the Omen of Cthulhu. So I like the premise of this game. I will never play this game. It does look cool. It looks kind of like that. What's that? Hunt Showdown. I know that's like a what is that? A battle royale style whatever game. Not battle royale, but it's a extraction shooter style game. I know this isn't an extraction shooter, but it looks like if Hunt Showdown was a co-op survival game. That's kind of what this looks like to me a little bit. And it looks fine. It's cool. Not going to play it. All right, next up, they announced, hey, Dave the Diver is coming to Xbox, and it's actually available now. And there's some DLC coming out early next year. That's great. I didn't know Dave the Diver wasn't on Xbox already. So that was the news to me, was that my dumbass just assumed this game was already on Xbox, but I guess it was a PC game and then probably came to PlayStation or Switch or something at some point, but now it's coming to Xbox. So there you go. If you're an Xbox fan, you've always been curious about Dave the Diver. This has been a popular indie hit for the past couple of years. It's getting more DLC, so that's cool. And it's out now. Not the DLC, but the game itself on Xbox is out now, so Xbox players can get a chance to play it. Awesome. After that, they showed a game called Crowsworn, which I'm not going to lie, this game looks like an absolute direct ripoff of Hollow Knight. So if you like Metroidvanias, if you like Hollow Knight, this looks like a game that's trying to appeal to you. I don't know if it's good or not. I don't mean to discredit the creators of it. It looks a little too heavily influenced by Hollow Knight to not kind of criticize it a little bit for that. But again, what do I know? I don't want to be disrespectful to someone's labor of love. There are a lot of games to me that look incredibly unassumingly interesting, like whatever, and that are hugely popular. Like the one that really keeps getting me is Hades. People really love Hades 1 and 2. I have no disrespect for Hades whatsoever, but every time I see it, I'm just like, I don't see the appeal, but I'm glad people fucking love it. That's awesome. And this game kind of just looks like some Hollow Knight ripoff. I was listening to a Nintendo podcast, Punching Up, the Last Stand Media Nintendo podcast. I was listening to it this weekend while I was doing some yard work. I was mulching the flower beds, and Gene Park, who's a games beat writer for the Washington Post, was talking about Metroid Prime 4 and Hollow Knight, and he said something that I'm like, it's like so obvious, and it really just made me irate the second he said it, which he was talking about how Metroid Dread, the Metroid for Nintendo Switch that came out a couple years ago, is like the best-selling Metroid game, and it sold like shy of 4 million copies, which is like, for a Nintendo game, not that good at all. It's actually pretty bad, for like a smaller game, it's like fine. But he was talking about how Metroid games, everyone knows Metroid, and as an IP, it's well known, it's very respected, but it's never been a big system seller. It's never been a big hit franchise for Nintendo. And then he talked about how he's like, why is it that a game like Metroid can be around forever and it's like a big deal for it to sell 3 or 4 million copies, but then a game like Hollow Knight 2 comes out and it sells like 10 million copies at launch and everyone's freaking out and the internet's exploding over it. And I heard him say that. And I was like, oh my God, I've never even thought about that for a second. That drives me nuts to think about how a game like Crowsworn or Hollow Knight can just kind of like exist. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is so innovative. Steam, Gabe Newell, oh my God, indie games. But it's like, Metroid's just been there, motherfucker. It's been there longer than I've been alive. It's been there since the 80s. And you stupid sons of bitch are just out here just like Oh, another Metroid game. Cool. We'll just let the five boomers that are nostalgic for the series talk about that while we wait for Hollow Knight 3. It's like, dude, it drove me nuts. Because, again, no disrespect to Hollow Knight. I've never played it. I'm sure it's fantastic. I like Metroidvania games. I'm sure Hollow Knight's really good. I just, dude, fucking, are you kidding me? Listen, there are plenty of good Metroidvania games out there. I think about the Guacamelee games, which I'm a fan of. I like Guacamelee a lot. There are plenty of good indie-style Metroidvania games that come out over the past 15 years or so. It's been a very, very popular genre in the indie space, and it just drives me nuts to think that anyone in this world could possibly look at any of those games and think, yeah, this is what I need over Metroid. I mean, the game that really started the genre when you think about it. It's like, are you kidding me? Listen, Shadow Complex, going back to the Xbox 360, Xbox Live Arcade, I mean, like the original downloadable Metroidvania-style game. Even that, for as cool as that game is, you gonna fucking tell me you want to play that over Metroid? Over a game like Super Metroid, Metroid Dread, fucking talking about the 3D space, Metroid Prime? Dude, it makes me want to bust my head through the fucking wall thinking about how a game like Hollow Knight 2 can be more hype. And I don't mean to just, again, to the people who make Hollow Knight, that's amazing. Good for you guys. Where the fuck are the rest of you guys when it comes to Metroid? It actually hurts my brain to think about it. So we're going to move on. Echo Generation 2 has been announced for Xbox and Game Pass and Steam and all that. Early 2026. I didn't realize it's been that long since Echo Generation 1. This is developer Coco Cucumber. I played their other game, Ravenlock, which was like a little Zelda, like Coraline style game. It was pretty cute. I liked it a lot. But Echo Generation is like their more turn-based role-playing game. I didn't realize that it had been long enough for there to be a sequel. But if you liked Echo Generation 1, you'll probably be interested in their sequel. It's like a card-based, turn-based RPG style game, but I like the art style of these Coco Cucumber games. They're like PS1 graphics kind of meet like this like good lighting style. I don't know, their games look very intentionally PS1 era, and I enjoy it. But yeah, there's that. Vampire Crawlers was announced, which is, remember Vampire Survivors? Here's a card battling game based on the Vampire Survivor world. I love Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors is a ton of fucking fun. I have zero interest in a card-based combat video game set in the Vampire Survivors world, so I'm going to skip right past that. It's coming out sometime next year for Xbox, PC, and all the rest, all the other platforms. Fine. They showed a new trailer for 007 First Light, which I thought this was interesting considering that this game kind of has its marketing beat already with PlayStation, but now here it is in an Xbox partner preview. I'm very excited for 007 First Light. I think this game actually looks badass. March 27th, that is definitely the game for early 2026 that I'm most looking forward to for the first quarter next year. So yeah, that's cool to see it. It was kind of a dumb trailer. The trailer is just showing off, hey, there's an Aston Martin in this game, and that's James Bond's car. And I'm like, cool, I don't give a shit. But I guess the cooler news here is that they did say, hey, 007 First Light is actually going to be an Xbox Play Anywhere game. So if you buy it on Xbox, you also have it on Xbox for PC. And I said, hey, that's cool. I'm very excited for this game, though. I think it looks pretty fucking cool. I guess if you pre-order, you get 24-hour early access to those who give a shit about that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, yeah, pre-order it on one platform. You get it on Xbox Series S and X, Xbox for PC, and cloud gaming. It's a Play Anywhere game. Pretty nice to get a little third-party support on that program. All right, next game they showed, I actually thought looks pretty fun and goofy. It's one of those like friend sloppy sim games. It's called Roadside Research. It's this game where you play as these aliens that crash land on this like random town, and they invade this gas station, this convenience store, and they just literally, it's like these blue and green aliens, and they just take pieces of paper and draw these poorly done human faces on them, and then they just tape them to their heads as a disguise. And the game is like, you just fucking manage a grocery convenience store in this rural middle of nowhere town, and your goal is to basically just keep going without alerting the local authorities, and it shows that like there's like government officials and stuff that will come into the store, and you got to try and like act normal to not get caught. And I think this game looks goofy and silly and fun, and honestly, this is something I would give a go to. It's definitely some good Game Pass fodder. So good thing is it is on Game Pass. Comes out sometime early 2026. It'll be on console, PC, and cloud. I thought this game looks cool. It's nothing groundbreaking, but if you're into like more simmy, goofy, fun type games, I think this is, one you think about like arcade simulator and all these games and stuff. I feel like this is one that kind of falls into that category and is a little unique and a little goofy and fun in some unique way. So that's roadside research, and I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever play it. If I was still a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, I'd definitely give it an hour of my life to see if it's any good. Otherwise, maybe one day when it's on deep sale or something. It's nothing I'm going to drop everything and pay $30 for, although we don't know how much it costs. Who knows? Looks good, though. Total Chaos was the next game shown. This game is coming out now. It's out now. It's available on Xbox Cloud, console, PC, all the rest. This game looks actually really cool. I'll give this game some serious props. It is a first-person horror shooter, cyberpunk first-person shooter. It actually looks kind of like the Metro series, but like if the Metro series was very horror-oriented. But I love it. It's like a slow first-person shooter. You got I see a Type 100. I see some kind of like trench shotgun. You got a revolver. You got this like he's got this bat or something to hit with, and there's these creepy creatures. And it looks like you're crawling through like subway tunnels and just I don't know what the hell this is, like the remnants of Auschwitz or something. It looks creepy, and I love the visual graphical style. It looks like it's mostly like a Xbox 360 era horror game, but with a little bit of this like PlayStation 1 kind of like bitty polygonal twist to the art style. So it's like as like an artistic flair. It's pretty cool looking actually. I'm interested in this honestly. So it's out now. Man, if there was less going on right now, this is a game I would be very interested in downloading and giving a try. But it's probably something I'll just purchase one day on a deep discount during a sale. But nothing I'm going to play right now. Looks good though, so I wanted to give that game a shout out. Next is Reanimal, which is a game I guess that's been shown before. It's a co-op horror game from the people that make Little Nightmares. This looks fine. It looks like if you like games like Little Nightmare or like Limbo and Inside and stuff like that, this might be up your alley. I'm a little burnt down on these kinds of games personally. I feel like we've seen too much of this, so to me this means nothing, but it is announced for February 13th, 2026. So it's coming down in a couple months, and it'll be on cloud, console, and PC. And it is there's a demo that's available right now, so you can already give the game a try if you're curious to see what it's like. So that's pretty cool. But that is Reanimal. And then next up, they show a game that we'll skip right past called Erosion. This game looks very boring to me. It comes out next spring, cloud, console, and PC. It's what do you even want to call it? They call it a voxel-style isometric action game. I'm not, again, out of respect for the people making these games, I'm just going to skip right past it because I don't care. Speaking of things I don't care, one more we can just kind of skip right past. Clover Pit, which is another roguelike game. However, you play with, it's like a casino slot machine is the gameplay mechanic, and I just don't care. It's out now. It's already on Game Pass, cloud, console, and PC. It's here now. You can play it. It's a slot machine roguelike game, which we're done. And then next up, they showed a game. It's probably the highlight game of the show, really, which was Zoo Punk, a game, I guess it's been announced for a while, but it's a third-person sci-fi action game revolving around this anthropomorphic, like gritty, lifelike animal creatures, and they do some horrible, gruesome combat stuff. You play as like this rabbit in a trench coat that like fucks the shit out of these robots, and then there's like a deer that's like a human-like deer, like BoJack Horseman style, where it's like animal head on human type body. And you got this pig and all these things, and it's very disturbing. It looks like Final Fantasy VII almost aesthetically, but everyone's a fucking animal, and I don't like it. It's like Zootopia and Final Fantasy VII had a baby. That's what this game looks like. I think that's the best way to put it, and I don't want to think about it anymore. It looks bad. It looks like a Souls-like game, and it just makes me deeply uncomfortable. It makes me second guess why anyone would have a pet. If they were capable of doing these kinds of things, I think we'd all maybe think twice about having little Sparkies and Golden Retrievers around our homes. But let's palate cleanse real quick because it's making me uncomfortable. And they announced some free DLC, some free content for Hitman, which is called Eminem vs. Slim Shady Elusive Target. So it's a new mission that's available for free as of December 1st, so it comes out next week, and it's available on Xbox, Cloud, console, PC, all that stuff. And you can play this new mission in Hitman where you try to track down the real Slim Shady and you try to kill him. And I think that's funny. I think it's a fun synopsis. I won't play this, but maybe my girlfriend will. She loves Hitman. I think this is fun. I'm glad to see they're having fun with the DLC and doing stuff like this and supporting this game. And it's cool that it's free. I mean, I love that. Free content giving you a reason to come back to a platform and a game that's been out for a while. Really cool fan servicey stuff there. And then I think we got, 2 more games? So the next one here is Tides of Annihilation, which has already been announced, but a new trailer was shown, showing this action-adventure combat. Listen, again, it looks like some action RPG, kind of like how the new Final Fantasy games and stuff play. Or like Expedition 33, looks like that kind of RPG style thing. And there's a girl, and she's dressed all stylish, and she's got legs, and she looks kind of anime-ish. She got like the cloak and the hair and all that, and there's swords, and people are flying around. There's eagles and powers and different colors of the wind being thrown around. And I've just seen a lot of games that look like this before. I'm excited for the people who are excited. I hope you love Tides of Annihilation. It's on cloud, console, and PC. It will come to PlayStation, although no date has been announced yet. So there's a new look at that game that has no imminent date or information regarding release. And then the last game here is Rajai Kali Yuga, which is I guess, is this a sequel? Yeah, the first one came out in 2020. So we're getting a sequel to the game. Isometric third-person action game, which, gameplay, story, and setting expanding in big ways on the first title. It's an Xbox Play Anywhere game, so if you buy it on PC or console, you got it in the other place as well. The game looks pretty. Again, it's just, there's nothing to this that I have to say, and the trailer is almost exclusively just like kind of cutscene stuff, so you don't really get a sense for any gameplay. I just don't want to sit here and waste your time and lie to you. I have no enthusiasm or interest whatsoever. I mean, listen, here's the deal. PlayStation and Nintendo can put together these kinds of partner preview things like the Nintendo Direct or a State of Play about this stuff, and they'll at least have like a little bit of something for everyone. But I feel like I watch this kind of video for Xbox, and I just feel like even though all these games are very distinct from one another technically, I feel like I'm watching the same level of boringness over and over and over again. The only game at this event that like really catches my interest whatsoever is pretty much 007, which we've known about forever. And then maybe I'll give a shout to what's it called, the survival horror game that looks pretty cool, Total Chaos. Again, and I'm not trying to be a dick, like, oh, Jesse, you just like the AAA stuff, you just like the Halos and the Call of Duties of the world. You don't give a shit about indies or smaller developers or new ideas or new games, and you just want people like you are the reason why we just keep getting the same 5 games over and over again. It's like, no, but I can see why you think that based on my reaction, and that's fair, and I'm not going to get upset over it, but like, man, it's just, that's a boring fucking showcase. Like, just don't even waste our time. These are Xbox Wire updates. We don't need to see them here. You could sprinkle some of these games out at a different Xbox event, and that'd be fine. But putting all this stuff together into one event is just like, don't hype me up. Don't be like, hey, we're doing an event. Clear your schedule for this Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to fucking knock your socks off. And then waste my time with a bunch of like YouTube trailers and Xbox Wire post updates. It just seems like a little bit disrespectful to waste your time with an event like this. If you don't have a real, tantalizing, legitimate reason for us to stop what we're doing and pay attention, don't call us to action. I think it's just disrespectful of your audience's time, in my opinion. Especially with the Game Awards right around the corner. We already had to endure 3 hours of Jeff Keighley's bullshit just to get a couple good announcements. So like, don't make us watch this as a preamble to all that mess. Just show us a little kindness, show us a little forgiveness. So that is the Xbox partner preview. Again, I'm sorry to be super negative or down on it. I just think that was eye-wateringly boring, and I'm grateful that I didn't sit down and watch it live because I wouldn't have enjoyed that at all. All right, guys, we can move on to the rest of this week's news now that is over. So let's talk about this rumor about how Xbox might need to increase their console prices again. And that's according to Moore's Law's Dead, the YouTuber who's got a really good track record at this point for like hardware-related leaks and rumors, who says that, I guess, DRAM is contract prices have reportedly increased over 170% year over year, driven largely by a huge agreement signed between Samsung and SK back in October, which will supply OpenAI with nearly half of the world's DRAM output for its Stargate data centers. According to Moore's Law's Dead on YouTube, and this is from VGC, the resulting price hikes and shortages have left companies without a large stock of components, reportedly including Microsoft. So they're saying with DRAM being harder and harder to get, with other parts possibly joining the list, Xbox might be in a position where they need to once again raise prices because they won't be able to get all the components to build their consoles. And he said that they just didn't plan ahead for these kinds of things. So if you think Xbox prices are bad now, just wait. It's not a guarantee, but it's a possibility that they might go up yet again in the near future. So that would be just fucking horrible. I would say that if they did something like that, it would really be Xbox's way of saying, just don't buy consoles from us. We don't want to sell you consoles. But I think I already felt that way 1 or 2 price hikes ago. So I don't feel that way right now. I just think this is absolutely ridiculous and unfortunate, and that there's truly no desire to push Xbox hardware at this point, and that it is purely there for out of necessity of just saving face and playing their role in all this, and that the hardware is not there because they're trying to grow an audience through traditional means, because that's clearly not what's happening at this point with how things are going on Team Xbox. Next up here, we got a Call of Duty update. So apparently, this is from VGC. According to GSD data, which tracks digital and physical sales across Europe, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launch sales were down more than 60% in Europe compared to previous installments. So this year's game launched amid increased competition from Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. The game also received middling reviews from media outlets with overwhelming negative user reviews. And according to GSD data, Black Ops 7's opening week sales were 63% below what Battlefield 6 managed to do in its own debut week, according to Ampere analysis. Over 25% of Call of Duty players in September picked up Battlefield 6 in October, so lots of double dipping, myself included. It's worth noting that because Black Ops 7 is included in Game Pass and Battlefield 6 isn't, that Black Ops 6 players, its player count is probably a lot fucking higher thanks to Game Pass subscribers, but still, as noted by Kotaku, Activision's own communications after Black Ops 7 released were unusually muted, whereas generally they're just a little more boisterous about numbers. They didn't talk numbers. So, I mean, this is a huge deal. There's not too much to say about it. I'm just really waiting till early December, when we get the MPD numbers, because that's really where we can, or I guess Circana numbers, because that's really when we can dig in and talk about what the fuck is going on with Call of Duty, where, remember, these games cost $400, $500, $600 million to produce sometimes. These games are on a constant rolling development cycle with one coming out each year. Each of these games is in development for like 2 to 3 years at a time. It is incredibly critical that Call of Duty maintains the level of success financially that it's achieved in order to maintain sustainability for all these studios. I mean, Call of Duty cannot be a flop, or it cannot be a middling success. It can't afford to sell 10 million units. It's a franchise that needs to sell 20, 30 million units to justify the number of developers and development studios that work on these games. So this is a little concerning, not just if you like Call of Duty, but if you're a Call of Duty developer. I mean, this might be the first time in a while that Call of Duty's really taken a hit. There have been some entries in the series that have done better than others in notable ways, but I mean, even really bad entries like Vanguard still managed to push 20 million plus units sold. And now you start to wonder, well, what does it look like when Call of Duty has an off year, but it's on Game Pass, but it also has the Xbox stink on it, and Battlefield is the best it's been really ever, to kind of eat its lunch. There's a lot of unique factors surrounding this Call of Duty, where even though we know Call of Duty is somewhat kind of invincible, it's like, is it though, when you consider Game Pass and Battlefield 6 and the unusually bad word of mouth that this game's had? It just seems like if there's ever been an opportunity or chance for Call of Duty to really get shit kicked in, this is it. And it kind of makes me sad, because as someone who really likes Black Ops 7, I don't want them to learn all the wrong lessons from this game, and I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen, because there's so many things in this game they've done where it's like finally they got it right, and then they got punished with this game. So I do worry about it from that perspective, but we can talk about that more when we get into what I've been playing. But it's not looking great for Black Ops 7 now, all relative. It's looking fantastic for Black Ops 7 from the perspective of it's a game that's going to have millions and millions of players and copies sold. It's not looking great for Call of Duty from the perspective of it's Call of Duty and needs to sell a colossal fuck ton of units. All right, so let's move on here and talk about Valve a little bit. So I just want to reiterate, we don't have to get into this too much, that they are saying, hey, this thing's going to be priced like, you know, a console. Like if you like a PC, like if you went and spec'd out and built a PC for gaming purposes, you know, spec out a PC with similar components, and that's how this Steam machine is going to be priced. And, you know, we're talking about how, you know, if they get really competitive with the price, this could be something that really eats Xbox's lunch. But it seems like, you know, I was pretty bullish on the $500-$600 price tag, but it seems like it's looking a little bit more like it is going to be that $800 to $1,000 price range at least for this box. So maybe Xbox does have a little bit of room with this thing probably being really niche due to its lack of availability through traditional retailers and its likely high price tag. And then, you know, Xbox has its other boons, like you can play games like Destiny and Call of Duty and other games that require anti-cheat software on Xbox, the next generation of Xbox that's PC centric, whereas on Steam machine, a lot of these games like Fortnite and Call of Duty are basically useless on a Steam Deck or a Steam machine. So you factor that, you factor price. It's not all lost for Xbox, but it's still not looking great, I think is the thing we're saying. But yeah, I mean, the rumors we're getting Half-Life 3, so we'll have to wait and see on that. I wonder if Half-Life 3 would be released for PlayStation and Xbox. My guess is that it probably would be, but I'm very curious to see if they somehow decide to just lock it to Steam to kind of entice as a console platform, to kind of just generate some buzz surrounding the new hardware. Interesting. I got some good news here. It looks like the Saudi Arabia private investment fund is starting to dry up a little bit. So the PIF, or private investment fund with Saudi Arabia, has made sweeping investments in recent years on and is central to the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's goal of making Saudi economy less reliant on proceeds from oil. That includes numerous investments in the video game industry, including stakes in gaming publishers like Take-Two, Nintendo, and the recent $55 billion deal to take control of Electronic Arts. However, according to the New York Times, the PIF could be set to close its wallet for the time being due to several projects that are in financial distress, according to 11 people briefed on the operations. Those projects include Neom, a vast region of a region and ski resort featuring robot workers, a coffee chain with a one shop so far, a cruise line with only one ship, electric vehicle startup company that has yet to deliver an actual car. This is music to my ears. The kingdom still sits on a deep oil wealth, and its ability to pump is heavily constricted by geopolitical agreements to curtail supply and low price from crude overall. The government is running a growing budget deficit and taking on debt to fulfill Prince Mohammed bin Salman's domestic promises. And according to New York Times, the PIF is actively structuring its operations, and the prince has fired the head of at least one of its projects, and is said to be drawing up plans to invest more in conventional areas like publicly traded stocks. The largest investment PIF has made thus far is, of course, the FIFA and Battlefield publisher, Electronic Arts, which PIF's representatives say is a long-term investment that will eventually double in value. While this is not 100% set in stone, it is almost certainly going to go through. So this is still their biggest purchase of all time. Their biggest, they said biggest private equity purchase of all time. I mean, it's a huge one. So, I mean, this warms my heart if this stuff is true, that they're hemorrhaging money and a lot of these investments are going south for them. I fucking hope they all go south, and I hope this whole investment fund dries up and Mohammed bin Salman fucking chokes on his own cock and dies because he's a piece of shit. He's an evil person and he's a murderer. And again, the people of Saudi Arabia, wish them all nothing but the best. I'm sure some of the greatest people you'll ever meet come from Saudi Arabia. But the culture and the political structure there, fucking ass, and they can all die. I don't give a shit. So this makes me happy. I was seeing that oh man, that again, this is unfortunately a gaming related story. Is political, just kind of inherently. I'm not trying to get political, but this is inherent shit. Mohammed bin Salman was visiting the White House, and a bunch of disgusting, awful traitor non-Americans were there. Corporations, your fucking Elon Musk of the world and stuff, having dinner to welcome this piece of shit into our country. And journalists were trying to like ask questions during a media pressing with him and Donald Trump. And this one journalist was like pressing him about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, and then Donald Trump like interrupts, and he's like, "Excuse me, you're being you're being horribly rude to our guests. You're a horrible reporter. You're horrible at your job. You're really a horrible person." And it's just like, oh my god, dude, it's just so disgusting watching the U.S. government defend another autocrat, just the murder of an innocent journalist who is doing their job, and just trying to squash and squander any attempts out there to garner news and evidence and the truth for the people to be aware of. It's so disheartening when you have a president who's literally trying to obfuscate the news and keep people ignorant and keep people far from the realities and the horrors of the world around us, while they allow this absolute evil piece of shit into a house that's supposed to represent the freedom of our country and the epicenter of our democratic government that is hypothetically there to represent the people. But instead we're just cucking to an absolute evil autocrat piece of shit who is purchasing EA games because 2025 bingo cards are fucking wild. I don't know, but it warms my heart to see that their funds are drying up. Too bad. They can probably just lay off for a while and come back and do this again later, because there's probably no shortage of opportunity for them to make tons and tons of money. But if this buys us some time without their bullshit investments that are unwanted, I will gladly take it. Fucking hell yeah. Speaking of things that are unwanted, have you ever the Far Cry TV show? Ever want it? Me neither. Apparently we're getting one. It's coming from FX, the TV channel FX, which is the same channel that does Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Well, it looks like Rob McElhenney, whatever his name is, the guy that plays Mac on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, plus the creator of the show, said that I guess he's the one kind of heading this up. He's going to be, let's see, what's his official title in this? He'll be the executive producer of the show. Is that what it is? It'll be produced by Rob Mack and Noah Hawley from Fargo, Alien Earth, and 26 Key Productions Company. Okay, so the show will be released on Hulu in the United States and Disney Plus in other countries, because nothing says Disney like pagan men fucking ripping people's heads off in Far Cry 4. And it will be distributed through FX, which is a Fox company, which is owned by Disney, which is part of the Hulu brand, because Disney owns all the things that the Saudi prince does not own. And then the funny guy from Sunny in Philadelphia will be making the Far Cry show, which is an anthology, which is the right way to do it, where every season would be focus on like a different story. So like presumably you could do a season on Far Cry 3, a season on Far Cry 4, a season on Far Cry 5, etc., which is a cool enough idea. It's just like, do we really need a Far Cry show? Could they really pull off a Far Cry show? God only knows. I don't really want this, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not the last show on Earth I'd watch. I feel like Far Cry is about crazy villains and cool settings and synopsis and stuff, and you could maybe spend 8 to 12 episodes doing a cool thing about that. The problem is Far Cry's story is kind of thin beyond the characters and stuff. Like the protagonists are usually pretty thin plot wise. And so I wonder, they'd have to really flesh out a lot more narrative to justify making this a TV show. And you just know how Hollywood is when they try to take a video game and make it a compelling story. But now we just watch Sonic and Mario and pretend that video game movies are good when they're still less than great. We'll see. Can't be worse than the Minecraft movie. Hey, I just got HBO Max back and I saw the Minecraft movies on there, so maybe I'll watch that. Maybe. So anyway, FX presents Far Cry, a new original series. I love that they call it a new original series, and then Ubisoft calls their games a Ubisoft original. So I hope they call it FX presents Far Cry, a new original series based on the Ubisoft original series, premiering on Hulu Plus or Disney Plus if you're in other countries. So I love the idea of that being the full title of the show, whereas the video game is just called Far Cry. But what do you think about the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia doing a Far Cry show? I know, the whole idea of wasn't on my 2025 bingo card keeps coming up this episode, huh? All right, speaking of bingo cards, I bet you weren't planning on this one. Xbox and Crocs have teamed up to make Xbox Crocs, because why the fuck not? They're black Crocs, and they have all the Xbox buttons on them. It's got the Xbox logo, the start, the guide, the share button, the ABXY buttons, the analog sticks, the D-pad. It's all there on a fucking pair of black Crocs. And on the straps on the Crocs, there's an Xbox Jewel logo. And the pair of Crocs runs you $80 fucking dollars, but for $20 you can buy different sets of giblets, which is the little charms you can put on your Crocs. They have giblets based on Halo, Doom, Fallout, World of Warcraft, Sea of Thieves, which you can attach to the shoes for added personality, customization, and all that good shit. The shoes are available to purchase now, $80, $20 for some Halo giblets on your shoes. I can't speak to this anymore because I've always hated Crocs. I've always made fun of Crocs, and then this year I got my first pair of Crocs, which is a Sam Wilson Captain America pair of Crocs. I got them on sale. My girlfriend got them for me for my birthday, and I'm afraid to wear them out of the house, but I definitely wear them around the neighborhood when I go on walks. I'm not going to lie, and they are obscenely comfortable. I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. But anyway, Xbox Crocs, they make me uncomfortable. They exist. I don't like how much it actually looks like an Xbox controller. I don't know why someone would want their feet to look like an Xbox controller. Imagine being insecure about your feet, so you disguise them as video game controllers so that nobody notices how ingrown your toenails are or something. I don't fucking know. This is just, we gotta stop. We gotta stop somewhere. I mean, we got the Saudi prince fucking murdering people and having dinner at the White House. We got Xbox putting their controllers on your feet. It's just, will the suffering ever end? I doubt it at this point. I just really fucking doubt it, unfortunately. So with that, guys, we're going to do it for the news. I'm going to take a quick water break. We'll come right back. We'll do the what I've been playing and the listener comments. But thanks for bearing with us through that first half of the show. I promise it gets more positive. All right, guys, let's, sorry for the background. There's a cat digging in the litter box like a little baby next to me. All right, let's talk about the games I've been playing this week. But before I can tell you about the games I've been playing, I first got to tell you about what it is I've been eating. And I guess this week it's not really about what I've been eating, but more about preparing for what I'll be eating, because I'm hosting for the first time, really hosting Thanksgiving. I've had a couple Thanksgivings where like I've had a friend over or something like that. It's not really, it's nothing really special. You just make the same food you'd make for yourself anyway. And then it's like one extra person. It's not that hard. But I got some family coming. I got my sister and her husband. I got my father, my stepmother. So we got 4 people. There's only 2 of us. So 6 people. I'm not used to cooking for more than maybe 1 or 2 other people. So it's going to be a lot for us. And then my dad's on a special freak diet. And then everyone's got their own. We're doing an unconventional Thanksgiving. So I got a lot. It's a big menu. And it's not just your traditional turkey and stuffing. So it's fun. It's a fun challenge. And as you guys know, this year I took on... Baby girl, you don't gotta keep digging. No one's gonna come get you. I promise. I'll poop your scoop and scoop your poop and calm down, baby. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot this year. So you guys know I got into grilling this year, so I'm gonna be doing some grilling. Got some beef ribs. We got some roasted chicken. We got prime rib, and then we'll be doing some vegetables and stuff on the grill. My girlfriend's in charge of the inside food, like the stovetop and oven stuff. So she'll be doing like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, some other veggie sides, some classic stuff like that. I got my sister coming in town. She's vegetarian, so she'll be making some whatever the hell she's going to eat kind of stuff. And so it'll be a lot. It'll be interesting. I'm excited about it because I like getting to cook for people. I genuinely do love that. One of the things I lament about being like a totally friendless and cellular, like a 30-year-old man who just hangs out with cats all day is I never have people to cook for. And it kind of makes me sad because the people I do know like aren't into cooking and don't do that kind of stuff either. It's like they're mostly, I feel like, I don't know, just like the people I know, it's like everyone's like, even when they hang out, it's order food or whatever. I'm like, I want to cook. I want to cook for people. I want to have people over for dinner and make food and things like that. To me, like that's fun. It's just like spending time together, enjoying a meal. So I'm very excited to do all that. Got a lot to start prepping. I got to start the prime rib. First of all, needs to get seasoned and start doing like a 24-hour dry age or something on it before that boy can get cooked early on Thursday morning. And then I just got a lot of things I need to prep and clean. Thankfully, thanks to Kroger, before Kroger delivery gets robbed from us from this cruel, dark world, I was able to get pretty much all my groceries just delivered through Kroger delivery. So that's fucking awesome. But yeah, we're all stocked up and ready to go. Basically tomorrow, as soon as I get home from work, I'm just going to be prepping and cooking for like 24 hours straight, which would be awesome. Grab my sister and brother-in-law from the airport, and then we'll be off doing that pretty much until Thanksgiving night. So really looking forward to that. Interested to know, what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. I know we got some Canadian listeners. What did you guys do a month or so ago for Canadian Thanksgiving? What about you Americans? What do you bloody Americans do? Do you do mussels and clams and lobsters like they did back in Pilgrim times? Or do you do tacos like a normal person? I don't fucking know. But that's it for what I'll be eating. Just got a lot of food on my mind from the perspective of trying to plan like how I'm going to, I got to cook the beef ribs. Kind of got to go first because I want to rest them for a few hours so they don't have too much of a smoky flavor, so they have a balanced flavor. But the prime rib, you want to cook it low and slow, so that's going to be kind of going all day, so to speak. The chicken I can do pretty quick. The chicken will be on the grill for like an hour. I'm going to cook that thing super fucking hot, but I haven't really even fully discovered or figured out what I want to do in terms of how I'm going to cook it. Or how I'm going to season it. So haven't really figured out if I'm going to do like a Cajun style or just like more like French rotisserie style. I don't fucking know. Very exciting. The options are endless. But happy Thanksgiving to all you guys. Maybe next week we can talk about how it went, if it went well, that is. But yeah, that's it for what I've been eating this week. You guys, let's talk about the games I'm playing. So Black Ops 7, the campaign is in the can. We're never going to have to think or talk about the campaign again because I beat it. It's done. It's over with. It is what it is. I've been playing lots of multiplayer zombies and endgame this week. And I got to say, I still love Black Ops 7. I've just been grinding like crazy. This past weekend was double XP. I already am at prestige number 1 right now, prestige 1, thanks to all the double XP tokens I had and everything. It was not too hard. I've unlocked a decent amount of skins. I already prestiged my favorite weapon so far, the AK, whatever it's called like AK-25 or something. You know how it is. Like they don't use real names. So I've already prestiged that weapon. I got my girlfriend thoroughly hooked to it, so she's obsessed with Black Ops 7 now. She's playing tons of it. So Black Ops is great, but I reached a weird phenomenon point this weekend where, well, let me put it this way. So after figuring out that the reason I was feeling sick last week was because I stopped taking my anxiety medicine, I started taking my medicine again. I felt fine. Then a day later, my coworker comes in and he's like, I'm sick as shit. And then he got me sick. So then this weekend, I had basically a head cold all weekend, and not that bad, honestly. It was like, because usually a head cold lasts like a week or two. This one's pretty good. Like, I already feel like I'm like a week past it at this point, where I really worked through most of it within like 2 or 3 days. So not that bad, all things considered. But because I just felt a little sick, a little mopey, a little down this weekend, I really just kind of, outside of like the yard work and things I had planned to do, I kind of just spent all my free time really just taking it slow and chilling. So instead of playing like a competitive multiplayer game like Black Ops 7, I was in the mood for something a little more zen. So I was like, let me bust out the Switch. The Switch is kind of where you play more chill games. So I played a lot more Ball Pit. I'm really loving Ball Pit. I really suck at Ball Pit. And it's so funny because it really does, it feels like a Space Invaders type game, which I fucking love. It's like Space Invaders crossed with Vampire Survivors, and I love this game, but I suck at it so bad. It just took me like all weekend just to get to like level 2, basically. And there's like 8 levels in the game, so God bless. I don't know if I'll ever actually beat it, but I really am enjoying this game. But I was playing around my Switch 2, and I was like, you know what? Metroid Prime 4 comes out in a week. I'm so excited for that game. I'm just going to go ahead and pre-order it now so I can, get it downloaded, get it in my system, everything. But Nintendo does those voucher systems, that voucher system they do, where I'm like, there's so many Nintendo games I missed out on from the later Switch years that I'm just like, I want to get Luigi's Mansion 3 and all these games I never played. So every time I buy a new Switch game like Donkey Kong or like, in this case, Metroid Prime, I always want to buy one of those Switch vouchers so I can kind of catch up on my backlog and acquire those games while, saving a couple dollars here and there. So instead of buying Metroid Prime 4 for $70, I just bought a voucher for $100. And then I used one voucher to redeem for a pre-order of Metroid Prime 4, and then I used the other voucher for, and I made a little bit of a bold decision here, because what I downloaded with my second voucher was The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And the reason this is, I thought, why not? It's a $70 game, plus if you're a Switch Online subscriber, you get the Switch 2 update for free or included in your subscription. So I was like, this is a really good way to get Tears of the Kingdom for cheap. It's an expensive Nintendo game. Let's give it a try. Long-time listeners of the show might know I've talked a lot of shit about Breath of the Wild, about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I was there day one. I was hyped for this game back when it was a Wii U game, back when I was a Wii U fanatic. But the truth of the matter is, when Breath of the Wild came out, I liked the game fine. I actually really loved it the first couple of hours. But by the time I beat the game and rolled credits about 50, 60 hours in, I was like, that's a good game, but that's not Zelda. It's like not what I want from Zelda. And then the internet did that thing where they became obnoxious about how much they love that game. And then the discourse around it kind of like spoiled it for me, where I was like, okay, this game was good, but not amazing. And now you guys won't shut the fuck up, and it's starting to annoy me. And now I just have a negative view on this game. And that's kind of how I've been like a little bitter towards Breath of the Wild for a long time because of that. But I don't want to take that out on Tears of the Kingdom, because I know a lot of people that didn't like Breath of the Wild actually like Tears of the Kingdom. And I know Tears of the Kingdom does enough to the formula to really evolve it or change it up to where it might be better. So I know a couple of things it does really well. Obviously, it has that building mechanic that's like Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts style, which is pretty unique and interesting. Which again, the internet lambasted it when Banjo-Kazooie did it, but when Zelda did it, of course, it was an innovation. But anyway, I know that's one huge thing, is that the building mechanic and the creation of the mechanic that you have here. And then the other thing is, I know this game is a lot more story-driven. I will say right off the bat, I've only played like 3 hours of the game. The game is definitely more story-driven. It starts out very cinematic, very cutscene-oriented. The voice acting and the writing is a little better than it was in Breath of the Wild, so it's not great, but it's not cringy like it is in Breath of the Wild. So I immediately appreciate that. I appreciate how much more this game tries to be story-driven from the get, whereas Breath of the Wild is more like, go make your own story, explore the Great Plateau. So I'm liking the game just from the sake of... it's trying to make story a part of this game. It's got some new mechanics that are interesting, compelling. And honestly, I'll just be honest, playing this game for 3 hours, listening to the music, getting a feel for it again, it feels like Breath of the Wild a lot. But at the same time, I haven't played Breath of the Wild since 2017 when it came out, so it's been a minute. So playing this, I'm like, this is kind of like refreshing, yet nostalgic, but it feels like a continuation, but it feels fresh and new. And it's just I'm kind of digging it right now. I'm like really feeling it 3 hours in. And then honestly, where I left off, I was like, I feel like if I play this game for 50 hours, I'll probably get a little tired of it. But for 3 hours in, it feels good. It feels fun. It feels fresh. Let's see where we go with this. I love the Legend of Zelda series. I love the Wind Waker. I love Skyward Sword. I love A Link Between Worlds. There are a lot of Zelda games I absolutely adore. And I want to love Zelda, but Breath of the Wild just wasn't it for me. And I've said many times before, Breath of the Wild it's a good game. It's just not what I want in a Zelda game. And so if Tears of the Kingdom can somehow tie together the old with the new in a way that it speaks to me, I'd be happy to welcome this series back into my life. But right now it's a we'll see. I'm not writing off Tears of the Kingdom yet, but I'm not like, oh, we're back, baby. So I am enjoying my time. This game is very much the perfect game for how I was feeling. Laying on the couch, Switch 2 in handheld mode, just kind of moping around the couch, not feeling great. It was a nice little whimsical adventure for the weekend, but I fear that I won't be able to play a whole lot of this game because I do want to get back to Black Ops 7, and then next week Metroid Prime 4 comes out, and Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and let's be honest, those are the games I'm really here for. Tears of the Kingdom can go onto the back burner the second Metroid Prime 4 comes out, and I don't give a shit. So I'm not expecting to play this game in its entirety right now, but I started it. I'm sure I'll come back to it. We'll see how things go. I just want to start this as kind of like a long-term project where it's like, all right, can Jesse fall in love with modern Zelda? Here we go. Tears of the Kingdom, 3 hours in, better than I expected. I don't hate it. So we'll see how things go. I will say one thing I instantly love in this game from the get is the ability to fuse objects to your weapons. So like taking a fucking boulder rock and fusing it to your sword and then just slinging your sword around like rock walls and just busting down walls and stuff. I'm like, okay, That's fucking awesome. I love this. So there's things about the game like right off the bat where I'm like, this is ingenious. This is ridiculous. I love this. But we'll see. We'll see how this game holds up over time. So that's it for what I've been playing. Black Ops 7, Ball Pit, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, very out of left field, but it all means nothing because next week when we get Metroid Prime 4 and Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that's where my heart's going to be at. So very much looking forward to those games. But guys, that's it for all I playing this week and everything. So let's head into the final, best, and last segment of the podcast. The comments, the shoutouts, you know what, youtube.com/Xbox on podcast. Click on the latest episode. Leave a comment. I don't care what it is. Just leave a comment and we'll read it on the show. Starting off with Mr. Dr. Ganman, who says, "Hey man, huge fan of the show. Do you ever share your gamer tag so fans can follow?" Yeah, bro. First of all, thanks for writing. It's super nice. Never heard someone refer themselves in relation to this show as being a fan. It really threw me off seeing someone write that in. Very much appreciate you. Appreciate the comment. No one's ever called themselves a fan of the show. It's such a weird... Anyway, thanks for writing in. My gamer tag is Cold War Cobra. I don't fucking know why. I've never been able to come up with a gamer tag that I'm permanently glued to. I think Cold War Cobra is one I came up with like 3 or 4 years ago, and I already feel how cringy it is. I'm like, I'll probably change it again at some point. It's been a lot of things over time, but it's been Suckaboy, it's been Second Best, it's been Cold War Cobra, it's been Yesterday, it's been a lot of things. But right now it's Cold War Cobra. I like the way it looks, like on a leaderboard and on a friends list. But I don't know. Is it a bad name? I don't know. Maybe it's basically just Black Ops Cold War mixed with Cobra from G.I. Joe. But why the fuck not? I don't know. But thank you for writing in. I appreciate your support for the show, man. Hope to see you again. Dead Captain James writes in and says, this is in regards to last week where Compassionate Choice was like, bro, please slow down the political rants. And then I politically ranted. And then I was like, maybe I should stop with so many tangents. I'm sorry. And then Dead Captain James wrote in this week and says, the side tangents are genuinely great. Please do not cut them out. So I appreciate you, Dead Captain James, and everyone else who wrote in with some feedback to that extent or to that, along those lines. I feel like that's when I'm enjoying doing the show the most, is when we're being goofy and ridiculous and we're going in from Breath of the Wild to fucking pooping constipation out of the toilet bowl to what's on the menu at Denny's. I feel like running the gamut like that is what makes this show fun to do for me. And I assume that if I'm having fun making the show, you guys are probably more likely to have fun listening to the show. That's just an assumption I operate under. And I hope it's true to at least some extent. But I'm glad you feel that way, Dead Captain James, because that's how I hoped it'd be. So I do appreciate that feedback. Cronky writes and says, you're definitely onto something with the Game Awards. The way it works seems to be that first they do have to love the game. Then they have to find a reason to nominate the game. In theory, a 2 out of 10 should be able to win an award if there's an area where the game is exceptional. Games are complex amalgamations of like 800 art forms coming together. So even if a game like South of Midnight failed on combat, for example, it excels in other areas. The reality is that South of Midnight was never considered for a second due to it not resonating with audiences and critics. I fundamentally disagree with the way that they do awards, and for that reason, their awards mean absolutely nothing in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to put it, Cronky, and it's exactly that. It's just like the fact that it's like, oh, this game wasn't beloved by my favorite podcast hosts and YouTubers, so therefore there's no artistic value or merit in the voice acting or the music design or anything like that because I didn't think the combat loop was satisfying. So it's stupid. It's like, I hate that because to me, it's like so many of the best games out there are 5 and 6 out of 10 style games where it's like, this could have been better. That was rough around the edges. You could tell that idea was a great idea, but it didn't really play out in practice. But then that's what makes games beautiful. Is it's like, this didn't work, but that did work. And it tried this, and I commend them for doing that. And this aspect is so great, but this aspect is a little shy of greatness. And it's, I think being able to look at games that way and admire parts of it without everything having to be perfect is part of what makes really awesome video games. Is it's, they're unique and interesting and inspiring projects, faults and all. And I just think if we're not celebrating that and acknowledging that and making room to accept that, then you're just going to end up with a world where all you have is fucking nonsensical Souls-like clones because everyone's trying to be like the game that's popular right now, which, oh, wouldn't you fucking know it? Every game's trying to be a Souls-like, Metroidvania, whatever, roguelike, because that's the fucking shit that you fucking critics keep responding to, and therefore that's the shit people keep making. So maybe if we could get past the surface level, I was told X is a good style of game, maybe we could get to a point in time where people just feel more empowered and compelled to try new things and make games that are okay or mediocre or great or good, and not everything has to be the Silk Song 2 and the Hades 2 and the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and the Spider-Man 2 Pizza Time. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Fryan Cronky. Let's move on to Tim R. The R stands for Respectable Gentleman. He says, on the topic of political sides, it was kind of refreshing to hear you go off like that last week. It takes everything I have sometimes to not make comments about politics nowadays because everything is just hell on earth. Well, Tim R., I will stand with you in solidarity on that one. Dude, it's tough. And it's just tough because you know people mean well. That's the thing that gets me the most. It's like, you know people mean well. People who vote against their best interests, who fuck us over and put us in the wrong positions, who just make the world a worse place. You know they're often people that really mean well. They're people that you can get along with and you can appreciate and respect. But doesn't change the fact that they're still a huge part of why everything is so fucked up. And it's like, you want to go off and tell someone like, what, how the fuck are you so goddamn stupid? But then you just realize it's like, we're all coming from the same well-intended place in our hearts, but everyone has a different definition of truth and access to different media and is being fed a different narrative thanks to their algorithm, their friend group, their hometown, their environment. And it's just like, how the fuck did it get this way? To where like someone can literally be like a rapist, a murderer, a fascist, whatever, and we can treat it like it's a gray area. Like there's room for interpretation, you know? Like, God, dude, I wonder, it's like if the Holocaust happened during like the era of the internet, would there be people trying to be like, all right, calm down. It's not like Adolf is like some fascist or something. It's just, you know, whatever. He's just sending the Jews back to where they belong. You know, it's just like some people where it's like, oh, I mean, well, it's just, this is how I genuinely see it. I don't fucking know. They're like, listen, German Facebook told me this because bot farmers in India push this article to my feed through an algorithm that knows I'll engage with this. I don't know, man. It's dude, good on you. If you're able to bite your tongue and sometimes hold it in, good on you. But this podcast is where I go to let it all out. It's where I let my farts, my political ideas, my heart, my feelings, I pour it all out here. Decoy Doctopus, also known as Big Doc Cock, says, you definitely need to wean off the SSRIs. I quit taking Lexapro years ago because I had been taking it since I was 14. Didn't think it was helping me. Then I had some bad anxiety, normal social interactions, very scary. And my therapist suggested that getting back on Lexapro, and that made a huge difference. Not saying that it will happen to you, just food for thought. None of this was gaming related, so thank you for reading. I mean, it's important. I'm sure. Dude, listen, lots of people who are into fucking... There's a large crossover, the Venn diagram of people who are like gamers or tech people or nerdy or more what is it? Type A personality? Is that what it is or whatever? Are kinds of people who are just generally more statistically like, oh, I'm the depression guy or the anxiety guy or the ADHD guy or whatever. You know, for me, it's anxiety. I'm always just like always overthinking and worrying about shit for no reason. It's good to talk about these things, and I appreciate the feedback. It sucks, man, because like when I first started taking it, I did feel like life was amazing for a month or so, and then I got used to it, and now I feel like nothing has changed. And the thing that sucks is it's like you tell your psychiatrist, you're like, I just don't feel like this medicine really does anything for me. They're like, okay, let's up your dosage. I'm like, I don't want to play this fucking game where every couple of months you try to up my dosage, and before you know it, I'm taking 50 milligrams of this medicine where I don't feel any different than how I used to feel when I took 0 milligrams of it. And now I'm just addicted to these pills, not addicted, but, you know, like reliant on these pills that I have to take, but don't really do anything. It sucks, man. It's a whole thing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep on them. I'm probably going to wean myself off of them, but, we'll see. We'll see what other pills we can get to make me I'm going to tell him, I think what I need is a lobotomy. I just want to be, I'm going to be like, doctor, I want to be normal. I want to see video footage of children being bombed in third world countries and only be like I want to be like normal 30-year-old dudes who see like the videos of like a kid being bombed. And then instead of being like, oh my God, this is horrible. Fuck our government. Fuck these corporations. We got to do something about this. I want to have the reaction where I'm just like, bro, that's fucking sick, bro. I'm going to send it to my friends. E-cigarette. I'm going to send this to my friends on Discord because it's fucking crazy, dude. This kid gets like blown up. It's fucked, man. It's totally fucked, but like crazy, man. You got to watch it. And then be like, oh, I'm watching season 3 of Smiling Friends. Oh. You guys want to play Fortnite? So I'm going to ask for the lobotomy so I can be that guy. Because that guy, I'll tell you the difference between me and him is that guy, he's not fucking anxious about anything. That guy's having a great life. He's not worried about shit. I'm fucking driving home from work and I'm worried about a friend from the 3rd grade I haven't talked to in 23 years. And I'm having a heart attack wondering if that person needs something right now because I'm just having an everyday panic attack. And the other dude, he's just fucking baked out of his mind watching, I don't know, what do guys like that watch now? Shane Gillis YouTube compilations. I gotta be like that guy, man. Anyway, Decoy Doctopus, thank you for writing in. Everyone, take some meds or don't, or do something. I don't fucking know. Take care of yourselves. Go to the gym and work out. You know what's great? Eating healthy and working out. That will do wonders for your brain. All right, Mr. Malg writes in and says, I had a comment again. I bought the Master Chief Collection on Steam today for only $10. It's installing the rest of the game. I'm just getting achievement after achievement as it installs, but no gamer score because it's Steam. Sad face. Yeah, I think what I was saying is, I'm pretty sure you can connect your Xbox Live account, or your Xbox account, I'm sorry, to Steam. And then when you play Master Chief Collection, all the achievements you have on Xbox will unlock on Steam and vice versa. All the achievements you unlock on Steam will unlock on your Xbox next time you log in. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. You might need to look it up, but I'm like almost 90% sure that is exactly how that works. But Mr. Mac, I know it's sad. Getting those Steam achievements, they mean nothing. But if you can connect those accounts, baby, get that gamer score, you be my gamer whore. You know what I'm saying, girl? Have a great week. Our final writing comes from Cargo Runner UK, who says, I think that the new Steam machine has a lot of Xbox 360 energy around it, and that made me fall in love with that's what made me fall in love with the Xbox, and that's what made me fall in love with the 360. 360 was obviously designed by gamers and for gamers. It had innovations like achievements, controller design, and customizable faceplates, and it all looked so good. The Steam Machine is the first console since the 360 that really feels designed by gamers for gamers, with every small detail designed around the gamer. I don't know if I will buy one, but I do love the Gabe Cube. I love it. Yeah, man, I get that energy. I can see what you're saying. I mean, I get it. Everything Xbox One, PS4, and forward, it feels like a big corporation that's just trying to maintain the audience and gain as much control of the industry as they can. I think things that Steam does always has that energy, because at the end of the day, you got to remember, Valve is a privately held company that makes absolute fuck you money, and they have no real need to make things like Steam Decks and Steam Machines. There's no real financial reason why they need to do that. They just do it because they can and because it's fun. And I think I think what you're really seeing is that energy shines through in products like the Steam Machine, where it's like, wow, this really is a really neat gamer focused device that was built because it could be. And so it's this more like secondary niche hardcore engagement device for people that want it, and less like the future of the living room like the Xbox One. You know, it's not gamer TV, Call of Duty, TV, sports. You know, and it's not PlayStation where they're just like, fuck you, what are you going to do about it? We're the Apple of video games. We could shit in a box and you stupid fuckers will still buy this thing for $500, you know? The Steam Machine is like, hey, this is a really cool thing for gamers that want it. Come and get it on Steam.com. It's cool, and you can change the faceplate. And I get it. I think from that perspective, I mean, the Xbox 360 was all about how can we fucking brute force our way into this industry. We have a crack in the door that we managed to get with the Xbox, with Halo 2. Now that there's a crack in the door, how can we shove our fucking foot in through that crack and bust that door down? Wireless gamepads, Xbox Live, Blade's dashboard, music fucking installed on your console, removable hard drive, faceplates, Halo 3, Gears of War. I mean, it was just Xbox Live Arcade, downloadable video games, demos. It was just boom, 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 boom. Xbox 360, it was a different beast. It was, we got to take this little opportunity and make the absolute most out of it so that we can force our way into the space and say we are a mainstay in the gaming ecosystem and we're here to stay. Whereas I think Steam Machine has a similar energy, but it's not so much about making Steam a permanent part of the console marketplace, but it's about saying, let's make something that the gamers are really going to love. And I think the PlayStation 5 is just a continuation of the PlayStation 4, is a continuation of the PlayStation 3. I think the Xbox Series X is righting a ship that you wronged. The Xbox One is focusing on the wrong market. And the Xbox 360 is fucking pure energy and love rolled into a box that we will all forever be nostalgic for. We millennial lads will yearn for the days of the Xbox 360 until we all die. And there's just no doubt about that. But that is going to do it for this week's episode. That's our final write-in. So thank you, Cargo Runner. Thank you, Mr. Maug, Decoy Coctopus, Tim R., Cronky, Dead Captain James, and newcomer Dr. Ganman. Thank you so much, all of you, for writing in. And thank you all who listened. I hope you have a wonderful week. A happy Thanksgiving if you're in the States. And just a safe, good, productive week overall. Be well, be good. And until next time, don't fuck the turkey. Empower your dreams.